road wins are hard to get. Short prep for Ole Miss. Guys were locked in. Ira Bowman and Mike Burgomaster and their team did an outstanding job with the preparation. I apologize. Wendell Green was the best point guard on the floor. Just, again, doesn't get enough credit. Want to be one of the best point guards in the country. Made plays on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Scored, assisted, low turnovers, rebounded. Just, a real complete game. Really poised on the road. Wendell Green controlled the tempo of this game. Allen Flanagan 5 for 5 in the second half. Doesn't have a turnover, which tells you that he's really trying to, work on his game and be productive and being aggressive without trying to force the issue. Played great defense. He had 5 defensive rebounds. Janai Broom, again, the best big on the floor. Just so consistent and just gives us that inside scoring threat at the 5 that not a lot of teams in the league have. And we got to continue to do a better job, with that. And again, another guy that I've mentioned, guys at third year Wendell, third year Janai, fourth year Al, veterans. And that's the guys you did on the road. And then Jalen Williams, he played well. He had, 5 assists and 3 turnovers. Made some big baskets down the stretch, played heavy minutes. Yohan Traore had his best first run half. It was great to see Yohan in there. Played well. So I don't have a report on Chris Moore yet. Obviously, that shoulder separated. He'll get an MRI tomorrow, and we'll get his status after the MRI.
We'll start with Ferg, since you're there.
Bruce, you guys have won a lot of games on the road with defense and rebounding. What was it like tonight to win one when shots were falling, especially in the second half?
Well, the offense was in front of our bench again the second half, as it always is. Their 1-3-1 bothered us a little bit, but I thought we did make some shots. Al had a big series in there. We made some big shots, took over a little bit. Wendell took over a little bit. Janai took over a little bit. I just think it's players making plays. And the biggest thing we've emphasized is you get deep in this league. You get in the paint, you get too deep. There's not a lot of good things happening in there. And we've done a good job of not getting ourselves in trouble by getting in there too deep. So good shots. No, we don't turn the ball over 4 times in the second half.
Al was in here just a moment ago, and he talked about after y'all lost to Georgia last week, there was a team meeting. They talked about communicating more and also being able to take criticism from one another. How much have you seen that kind of help you? And you guys have won back-to-back games and been playing a lot better basketball.
Yeah, I think there's been more leadership for sure, and more accountability, and that's what here's the deal. One of the things you try to explain, I have a job to do, but this is not my team; it's their team. And I'm not. If we don't win, I'll say it's more my team and not their team. I'll try to take the heat off. But I've been coaching so long, and I've had so many teams. These guys have got 2, 3, 4 years. That's it. And when they take ownership of it, and are able to be accountable, be able to call each other out and things, go to their strengths. I do. I think the communication's been better.
All right, we'll go to the Zoom and start with Justin Hokanson.
Hey, Bruce, you talk about turnovers for this team. I think if not for that 10-second call, you guys would have had single-digit turnovers for the second straight game, which hasn't happened, I think, in the last 30 games from looking at it. What does that mean to this team specifically when you can control the turnovers, and how does that affect the results?
The Georgia, USC, Memphis losses, high turnovers, leading to transition. So if we wanted to start winning, that was just first and foremost on our list. And so the question is, where do you turn the ball over? Janai, if we're going to run offense through you, you can't give the ball to the other team when you get doubled or whatever. Al, you can't, take the open shot, don't shot fake and get closer every time and get stripped and ripped. Wendell, you got to pick your spots when you get into the paint. KD's been cogs, all the guys. And what it does is it just doesn't allow the opponent to get easy baskets. That's it. Don't turn over. Don't give them easy baskets. It's a pretty easy formula to win. And our defense is pretty good. So give your defense a chance to get back and get matched up and get covering.
Nathan King.
Bruce, you called a timeout about 8 minutes into the game. Y'all were down 7. I think you were +6 for the rest of the first half after that. What were kind of the keys after that? You guys held Ole Miss down in terms of their scoring after a pretty hot start.
Well, Stephen had planted a seed in my head that if we got a rough patch, get an early timeout, try to settle them down. And so having Stephen said that to me pregame, it was in my mind that if it happened, and so we did, and we were very calm in the timeout. We talked about what we weren't doing. Bottom line is they were driving to the basket. It's like, look, how can we be talking about gaps, help the helper, sink, and they're driving right around us, left around us, and they're getting around. How is that possible? It's not. So you guys better get in the paint and make them kick it out. And we started to do a better job of building a wall and not letting them drive around us.
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Bruce, can you talk about how important it is to get Wendell to the foul line like you did tonight? He had 11-11, and then the team made 18 and 22.
Well, Matthew Morrell, was 8 for 8. And Wendell was 11 for 11. And, that's pretty good free throw shooting by 2 great guards. And they were the 2 best guards on the floor. And I think officials recognize that. I think certainly tonight, officials are recognizing that, Wendell Green's a pretty dynamic player. And so when he was getting bounced and getting fouled, he was getting the whistle.
And you
They were
guys,
fouling.
you guys are plus 20 points in the paint. I guess that had to be absolutely huge tonight.
Well, the combination of guys getting downhill, Janai finishing around the rim, so very, very important. And again, I thought we, again, veterans, we play with some poise and with some purpose.
All right, Coach, that's going to wrap us up for tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, I think rebound. Last thing I'd say too is, Ole Miss is 13th nationally, like an offensive rebounding percentage, and they only got 6, and that was huge. Keeping them off the boards, not turning the ball over, and that was and some great individual players making plays. Good road win.
Thanks, Coach.